Hey, what's up guys, Ben here, welcome to another video on my channel FilmFanatic. Now today, we are counting down my top 5 favourite Pixar movies. If you guys are excited for this video, go ahead and hit the like button down below right now. Let me know you guys are liking my videos, and let's just get straight on into it. So this list was probably the hardest I've had to compile yet on this channel, because it's all childhood favourite movies of mine, and to kind of rate them top 5 was near impossible, but I've got a list and I'm just going to go with it before I change my mind. So coming in at number 5 guys, we are going with Monsters Inc. Coming out in 2002, Monsters Inc. was a huge blockbuster of a movie. The movie follows James P. Sullivan and Mike Wazowski, two monsters in the monster world who work at Monsters Incorporated, which is a scream factory where the power for the city comes from human screams. Now, while on a job, a human child enters the monster world and they try desperately to return her to the human world without anyone finding out. The Monsters Inc. did make millions and millions, and to this day is still a favourite of many people around the world. It is such a good family comedy, it's a great kids movie, and see, I'm not even ashamed to say it, I watched it recently by myself because it's just a really good movie. The movie's so well written as well, props to the writers. They did this so well, and not only that, in 2002 the animation's fantastic for a 2002 movie. I mean, if you look at other 2002 animated movies, the animation isn't as good. Now I thought John Goodman as James P. Sullivan was a fantastic casting choice. He is fantastic in this movie. The way him and Billy Crystal play off each other for Mike and Sully is so good. Now I'm going to introduce this new thing when I do top 5 countdowns, in which I'm going to rate the movies that I'm talking about out of 10, and I am bringing Monsters Inc. bringing Monsters Inc. into a solid 8. What would you rate Monsters Inc. out of 10 guys? Let me know in the comment section, and let's go straight on to number 4. So driving into number 4 on my list guys, we are going with the 2006 Pixar movie Cars. Very much like Monsters Inc., Cars was a huge success and to this day is still a very much loved kids film. Released in 2006, Cars follows Lightning McQueen, a racing car who, on his way to the next big race to win the Piston Cup, falls off his truck and ends up getting lost in Route 66. For some reason it was just a movie that I really enjoyed watching as a kid. I liked watching the cars talk. Oh god. By the way, did anyone notice the joke I said? Driving in? The reason it's above Monsters Inc. on my list, and even though Monsters Inc. is probably the preferred choice, for me, I prefer Cars. I just think it's a funnier movie. The animation's obviously a lot better, it's 4 years later, but for some reason I just find it more enjoyable to watch than Monsters Inc. I don't really know why, I just do, and that's why it's number 4 on my list. I'm going to give Cars a solid 8 out of 10. For number 3 on my list guys, we are going with one of the biggest Pixar movies ever, Finding Nemo. I don't really know why I'm telling you the storyline for Finding Nemo, I'm pretty sure all of you already know. But if you don't, Nemo gets captured by divers one day while out on a school trip, and the movie follows his dad going across the ocean to Australia to try and find him and get him back. Like I said, the movie is loved so much around the world, and why? I think it's all down to one character. Dory. Dory, voiced by the comedian and now talk show host Ellen DeGeneres, she just makes the movie come alive, and without Dory, I don't think the movie would have been such a big success. Dory brings the comedy, the emotion, and just, I don't know, she just lightens the movie up a bit. Without her, it's just a depressed fish going across the sea to find his son. Without Dory, I don't know, the movie wouldn't have been as enjoyable to me, and I think Dory carries the film a little bit. It sounds as if I'm slating Finding Nemo, and I'm really not. I love the movie, it's one of my favourites. But I don't know, Dory was my favourite character, and I think is most people's favourite character. Nemo's dad Marlin learns so many lessons going across the sea. He learns to let his son have some free range, he learns about love and respect, and to be honest, he becomes a better person. Or fish. They have released last year that there's going to be a sequel, Finding Dory, out next year. I am so excited for this movie. This is the first time I've honestly been really excited for a sequel, and if you watch my last video, the sequel failures, I'm going in with expectations that aren't high, but I hope to God Pixar do this well. Please Pixar, please make this a good movie. To me, Finding Nemo was one of my favourite kids films. It was one of the first movies I went to see in the cinema. I think it actually was the first movie I went to see in the cinema, and I don't know, I've always liked it since that day. I remember going in to see it, and I remember leaving loving the movie, and to this day I stand by that. It's one of those movies where I can watch it, I can honestly just sit back and enjoy it and not think about, you know, all the actors or the directing or the animation. I can just honestly sit back and enjoy the movie, and that is why it is number 3 on my list. Go to rate Finding Nemo 9 out of 10. How can I beat that? Well, let me show you. Okay, for number 2 on my list, guys, I am going with, I think it's the biggest Pixar movie ever. The Incredibles. Okay, little side note here, guys. I made a mistake. It is actually the 5th biggest Pixar movie ever. Whoops. The movie focuses around the Parr family, who, living in America, are superheroes. Secret superheroes, and they don't use their power for good anymore after being retired. Robert Parr, or Mr. Incredible, has the power of super strength. Mrs. Incredible, or Elastigirl, has the power to stretch her skin to incredible lengths. Violet, their daughter, has the power to go invisible and create force fields. Dash, my favourite character, has the power to run the fastest. And Jack, the baby, for the majority of the movie, doesn't have a power, but we'll talk about that later. Now, in the movie, Robert Parr ends up getting a secret mission from a secret organisation on an island to use his superpowers once again. Now, he doesn't tell his family he's doing this, he tells them we're away on a business trip, etc. And he ends up getting in serious business with a supervillain, and the family come over to rescue him. And it turns into a big palaver. Palaver? Really? Supervillain in The Incredibles is one of the best supervillains I've came across in an animated movie. It is confusing, but also a fantastic idea, and I was surprised no one came up with it beforehand. It's a supervillain who's trying to be a superhero. Basically, Syndrome was a huge fan of Mr. Incredible when he was younger, and as he grew up, he realised that you needed superpowers to be a superhero. And then so he created his own inventions such as rocket boots and laser wristband things so that he could be a superhero without having superpowers. Now, it's a fantastic idea. Like I said, it surprised me no one's come up with it before. Now, very much like Finding Nemo, there is one character in this movie which I think stands out above the rest, and it is Frozone, voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. Frozone has the power to create ice using the water and the air. Now, it's a common superpower, I'm not gonna lie, but Samuel L. Jackson brings so much to this character. Now, I know he didn't do much for the character, he just kind of voiced it, but oh my god, did they get a good casting for this part. Now, not like Finding Nemo, he does not carry the movie. The person who carries in the movies is nobody. Nobody carried this movie, which is why it's so good. I love the movie from start to finish, which is why it's number 2 on my list, and I am rating it 9.5 out of 10. This brings me to number 1 on my list, guys, and if you haven't guessed already, it is Toy Story. Toy Story is the biggest Pixar movie ever, with the most successful sequels in a Pixar movie series. Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, obviously. Now, Toy Story 1 kicked off one of the best animated series ever, in my opinion. It is the first fully computer animated movie, so it also kicked off that industry. Not only that, it just created a whole new universe for kids movies. Kids movies didn't have to be, you know, real actors all the time. It kicked off animation in general for me. Without Toy Story, we wouldn't have the fantastic animation and the great animated series we have today. The movie focuses around 2 toys, Woody and Buzz Lightyear. Woody is a cowboy and Buzz Lightyear is a spaceman superhero thing. Now, there's a rivalry in this movie between Woody and Buzz. Woody trying to get his place back, and Buzz just trying to live an easy life and not... What is Buzz trying to do? Now, there's a rivalry in this movie. Woody trying to regain his place as Andy's favourite, and Buzz tries to leave and go back to his home planet, not realising he's a toy.
You are a toy! You weren't the real Buzz Lightyear, you're an action figure! You are a child's plaything!
It's very rare that an animated movie can connect so many people around the world and so many different age ranges, and Toy Story does it fantastically, and that is why I am rating it number 1 on my list and also 10 out of 10. And that brings me to the end of my list and the end of my video. If you guys did enjoy, please remember to hit the like button down below. Really does help my channel out. Go ahead and leave in the comment section your top 5 Pixar movies, whether you agree or disagree with my list, and also hit subscribe so you never miss a video. And I'll see you next time, guys. Take care.